Now, the Rahui placed on the Waitemata Harbour has been lifted this morning, but is it safe to swim after millions and millions of litres of sewage poured into the harbour just weeks ago? Watercare Environmental Care Manager Dr Nathaniel Wilson is with us this morning. Good morning, thank you for being here. Is it safe to go swimming?
You can see a green flag, absolutely, on Safe Swim, yeah.
So where are the green flags?
So all beaches at the moment, except for some of the permanent do not swim areas, which have always been marked in that colour, and then there's a handful of beaches that have got some local network issues, so they're marked black at the moment. So it's Judges Bay, Te Tinana, and Herne Bay, Home Bay, and those little beaches around the western side of the bridge.
Okay, so it's all on for young and old. Summer's here, you can go back to the water. We were told, we had a scientist on when the overflows first started happening, and they said you need to give it at least 21 days from the last overflow to swimming. That was their recommendation. Has it been 20? When did the sewage stop flowing?
Yeah, so we haven't had any dry weather overflows, so the overflows from that break since the 26th of October. The volume started dropping from a week before that when we put those big pumps in. It just took a while to get the levels down. We've been doing exhaustive testing across those beaches in collaboration with Auckland Council, and we're really confident in the numbers. So what you see on Safe Swim is absolutely best scientific data.
Okay, so the 26th of October was the last time that you had a dry weather overflow. So since then, you've had overflows, but only when it's raining. Do you know how many wet weather days we've had since then, or how many wet weather overflows?
Yeah, I mean, so the black pins you'll see at the moment are the result of wet weather overflows, but those are wet weather overflows from really old parts of the networks. They're parts of the network that were designed to take stormwater into them 100 years ago, before we had good treatment. And those are areas that we're working. It's a big long-term plan to fix those areas, but it does mean when it rains, those beaches are always going to flicker a wee bit. So we've had 2 big rain events since, and we've been tracking them. The issues have mostly been inside that Rahui area anyway, but now that they're off, we are keeping a good close eye on it, and we'll keep the exhaustive testing going for another week or 2.
Do you know the quantity? We were told around 8 million litres of sewage per day at one point. Do you know in total how much sewage went into the harbour?
No, we're still calculating that. It was a lot. Like there's no way of getting around that. So it peaked at kind of 6 or 7, 800 litres per second when it was really, really peaking. We did get lucky though that I say lucky in the worst circumstances, but the solid material stayed in the pipe. So what was overflowing was the liquids off the top, just because the flows were a bit slow in the pipe because of the blockage. So it did mean you didn't get that physical debris on the beaches like we were really worried about at the start.
All right, so it was all water, albeit there'll be fecal matter in it, but it's not actually solid stuff.
No, yeah, we didn't see the wet wipes or the personal care products or anything like that, bits of toilet paper that you'd expect in a normal overflow, which was really good for the harbour, and we were just really fortunate.
Is the pipe fixed now, and is there a chance that this could happen again? And if there is a wet weather event, could it be worse than it otherwise would have been?
So we've cleared enough of that blockage that the system is basically back to normal. So we haven't fixed the hole, but we have cleared enough material through that we're getting normal flows through. And we will look to reline and fix that with work starting kind of Christmas, once we've got to get the area safe for people to work in. And then after that, the risks are no more than usual. So we do lots of inspections. Everything gets audited on a frequency based on age and condition. And we do our very best to make sure this won't happen again.
Are you all at Watercare going to go for a swim and take a photo and put it online just so that we feel safe too?
When I'm not working on a day like today, I'll certainly go for it. I've got no personal worries about it. And like I said, you can genuinely trust Safe Swim for this kind of stuff. So we just encourage people all the time year-round to use Safe Swim. It's an amazing tool. Auckland's really lucky to have it.
All right, very quickly, a couple of questions from our viewers. Fred says, are you testing shellfish? A shellfish test being done around the affected areas, and can we see the results of this publicly, please?
So yes, we have been putting out bags of oysters, so we didn't want to take anything from the natural environment because they've had a hard time anyway. So put bags of oysters out. We've done 3 rounds of that. The numbers have come down from significantly high when the overflow was going to the last results came back yesterday looking really good and low. And we're looking to put some visual communications out with that kind of data in the next couple of weeks.
Okay. And Ray says there have been several king tides since the sewage has come out. Would have washed some of this matter up onto the beaches, and then we haven't had a tide coming up to take it away again. Are you testing the sand, the beaches? Should we be worried about our kids playing in the sand?
No, you shouldn't be worried because the weather's been so good. So sunlight's an incredible disinfectant. So the nice warm days we've had would have taken care of any residual fecal bacteria or viruses or anything like that. And then the water that's come through would have seeped back in just a bit slower than on a tide. And as I said before, because we didn't have that solid material, there's not the same residues being left anywhere.
Just finally, do you know where the sewage came from? Was it Parnell's poos?
It was everyone's from Mount Roskill in a big loop round. So hundreds of thousands of people's worth. That Aoraki main sewer was built more than 100 years ago, and it's an amazing feat of engineering. I personally am a scientist, not an engineer. I don't really understand how it works. It's that clever.
Water Care Environmental Care Manager Dr. Nathaniel Wilson, thank you very much for your time this morning.